Welcome. Well, you're at home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family. And we're so delighted that you've welcomed us into your home. You know that we would love to hear from you. So send us an email with your question or your comment to jimandjoy@ewtn.com. Well, today we are thrilled to be welcoming on our show Conor Gallagher. Now, Conor is the CEO of Tan Books, a prominent author and speaker, and the host of his own podcast called The Conor Gallagher Show. And today he's here to speak with us about his book and company, Well-Ordered Family, which is a 6-part family management system that will help you to reclaim order and clarity in your family. Using tried and trusted business tools, Well-Ordered Family provides coaching services to create customized plans for your family to optimize its potential. You could go out to his beautiful website, wellorderedfamily.com. And it doesn't matter if you have 3 children, 2 children. Conor and his beautiful wife, Ashley, have 16 children. And so you could have less or more, but either that family is going to function or it's going to function in dysfunction. Right. And so this is a beautiful way to bring order to your family. It's going to be a great show.
I feel encouraged already because the family is under attack from so many avenues. We've heard from one of the Fatima seers that the final battle of Satan, he wants to come after the family. And there's some really bad fruit, to show that. And I think Conor is living it, and his wife, that's the key. They live these principles. They have vision, unity, systems, discernment, relationships, metrics, and they're walking that out. And as you said, Joy, it's not for families just of 16 or 8. It's for everyone. You're going to be dealing with all these different areas. You're going to deal with them well or poorly. And then they offer all this assistance. They're online, so you can get coaching from people that understand the system just like you. And the couple can be really nurtured along. They need nurturing. The parents need nurturing to nurture the children. So thank God for EWTN bringing to us Conor Gallagher, and support. Help is here for you in your marriage, in your family, with your child, with your children. Keep it on EWTN. We'll be right back. There's plenty more to come. Please don't go away.
Welcome back. Well, our guest today is Conor Gallagher. He's the CEO of Tan Books, and he's authored this great book, Well-Ordered Family. Go out to his website, wellorderedfamily.com. Whether you have 3 children, 2 children, maybe your wife is just carrying your first baby in their womb, in her beautiful womb, and you're getting ready to launch your family, you want to do this well. And he has done a great job in providing all the tools that you can need to make your family succeed. Well, Conor, we're excited to have you on at home. First, we want you to tell our family a little bit about yourself, and then tell us about your great book, Well-Ordered Family, and the 6 components to it.
Well, thanks for having me. I love EWTN. It's been 30 years, I think, since I've been on set. So it's been quite some time, but well, first of all, I feel kind of empty here because really my wife should be sitting next to me,
Yes.
and hopefully she'll come back at some point,
Yes.
but given that she's had 16 kids, it's tough. There's certain windows where she has more freedom and can do things. Other times she's, limited, but I love my wife, so shout out to her. But yeah, my wife and I have been married 24 years. We have 16 children, now 3 grandchildren. We got 2 granddaughters and 1 on the way, which we found out just the other day.
Congratulations.
All 3 little girls. So my wife and I went to Steubenville together and had an incredible experience there.
Yeah.
And then I was a lawyer, master's in philosophy, law degree. I really love philosophy, which ties in here. I really love philosophy, but I knew I wanted to make more money. So I was like, okay, I got to go to law school.
Make more money.
So like, we're going to have a big family probably. So I went to law school, and then I was like, okay, I like the study of law, but I'm not made to be a lawyer. So any which way, long story short, my father came to me and he said, hey, Tan Books is in bankruptcy, and you guys know Tan well. Mother Angelica loved Tan. And so I kind of represented him as his lawyer to help acquire Tan Books out of bankruptcy. That was 17 plus years ago, maybe 18 years now. And so after that, I ended up running Tan. Now, how that all plays out into Well-Ordered Family is that I had no business experience. I didn't know how to run a hot dog stand. But I read every business book I could get my hands on.
250, you said.
I did. I stopped counting at 250. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I went back and counted one. And the reason is because I was desperate to find what are the general principles that, like a natural law, being a philosopher, what is the natural law that controls business? There has to be certain general principles that God instilled in the universe to control business operation. Things that just, certain tasks or principles or attributes that a business needs to have and to follow in order to be successful. Well, I kind of developed that, and the business has been very successful. And over the years, we got involved in many other businesses, and I run multiple businesses, not just Tan. But all the while, guys, my family was growing in as just much complexity as the business. And I'm kind of like, I've realized that I was kind of on my A game at work, doing a real good job, and my staff, my clients, my employees, my customers, they all saw the best version of me at work, and I was on my A game. But then I would go home, and I was definitely on my B game, maybe C game. And my wife was doing an amazing job, but eventually I started saying, I have some leadership, organizational leadership skills that I could bring home. Right. And so she's like, all right, Mr. Business Guy, show me how to do it, And so together we started applying business principles to the family life. And it started just with something like a simple chore chart, which many of your viewers will have. If they got a bunch of kids, you got to have a chore chart, But I started saying there's other parts to business that should apply to human beings in the house, because guess what? A family and a business are two kind of the same things. They're both organizations trying to reach a certain goal. And what is that goal? It might be a little different, but the management principles that apply to both are basically the same. No, my kids aren't employees. No, my spouse is not just my business partner. The analogy falls short, but there's general principles that definitely apply, and that's how my wife and I came up with Well-Ordered Family together, is saying, let's take the most fundamental natural law principles of business that apply to any organization and apply it to the family, and that's how we ended up with Well-Ordered Family.
It's well said, and it sounds just like your book. As we were speaking in the green room earlier, that, you're applying kind of business principles, it's there, and when you first see it, maybe you would say, business, family, it sounds kind of, hard, and do you understand the sanctity of the person, each child, your marriage, femininity, and you do. I mean, you speak to all of that, and I guess it gets to, what's the goal of your business and what's the goal of the family, marriage and the family? How do you see that? What are you aiming at?
Okay, well, I'm in a unique spot because my core business is Tan, right? And if you walked in my office and you walk down the hall, you're going to see on a big wall, you're going to see what I call the master plan. In fact, it's actually called the Master's Plan because it's Christ's plan for us, possessive form. But it's to help people become saints. That's what TAN exists for, okay? That is our stated vision statement, and you can go ask any employee, why are you here? To help people become saints, right? And if they don't get that, it ain't gonna work. Okay, well, I'm fortunate, that's my business mission, that's our vision statement. It's the same thing with my family, right? Now, we have our own unique vision statement. It's crafted a little bit more, and I encourage each family to kind of craft out their vision statement, not just a tiny little statement, but kind of craft it out into a paragraph to flesh out, articulate the unique aspects of your family. So I think that, yes, the business has to make money. We're a for-profit business. You got to run certain things to make sure that you stay in business. By the way, we say we don't keep the business going to make a profit. We make a profit to keep the business going. Okay, but point is thankfully in my life, God has blessed me so much that my vision statement for my business and my family is basically the same thing. I'm here to make saints.
Right.
and that's what we try to do.
Right, and you know, it reminds me of that movie, Cheaper by the Dozen, with Henry Fonda and Lucille Ball, right? She had 6 kids, he had 6 kids. He was a Navy man, right? He was like the captain, and he knew how to run a ship.
Yeah.
But then he had to bring his family together, and he was like, well, wait a minute, I run a ship. That's how we got to run our family.
Yeah.
And so there are certain principles that apply.
Yeah.
That's to say, not, you know, because you can have chaos, you can have order, but then you want it to thrive.
Yeah.
I mean, you want everybody knowing, everybody wants to be secure, everyone wants to know their place, what's expected of me, right? Because everybody wants to feel secure and know their purpose.
Yeah.
And everybody belongs.
Yeah. I mean, the camera guys here have a purpose. They play an intricate part. The wonderful people that were taking care of us, the hospitality here, everyone plays a certain role, right? But it's different. And so the family kind of is the same thing, you know, duties and responsibilities. You can't run a business and just walk in and tell everybody to do random things differently, right? You know, what if I said, hey, today, Jim, you're the camera guy. Good luck, you know. Hey, you're going to do the hospitality. Good luck, you know. You're in the control room. Good luck. No. And so, but we do that at family because we kind of stop thinking like a business when we go home, and then we just randomly give out orders, and we get frustrated when they don't operate. I mean, that's been my experience, and I think a lot of families kind of, you know, fall into that. But you can't go into a business and do that. We all know that. So why do we do that at family? But I want to mention one thing. You know, here is how the well-ordered family system, in my mind, fits into the broader Catholic context. Okay, I think this is important for your viewers to hear. Thomas Aquinas, okay, the great angelic doctor, he said, grace perfects nature, okay? Now, in our chaotic world, our natural order of things is really messed up, okay? Everything from the digital, everything from way over busy schedules, everyone's working 2 jobs, everyone plays a million sports, you're never at home. Everything's chaotic and disordered. We have a disordered society. And what does that do? That makes it difficult for grace to flow. God doesn't require nature to be in order, but the way that he prefers to operate is he says, okay, the natural order is in place, and then grace flows like a tsunami when that's the case. That's why you have to build on human formation and then receive the sacraments, and the grace from those sacraments flow more steadily. A religious order, they live within an order, a daily routine, very clear goals and responsibilities, the grace flows, right? So that's the concept of order there. Think of order like nature, right? So in our disordered world, we need to find a well-ordered family. Why? Just so that you have less stress? No. Just so that your kids know who's doing the dishes on Tuesday versus Wednesday? No. So you can get out of debt? No. Those are great. But the main reason is that if you are ordered, if you are properly disposed to the way that God intended the natural order for family and society to work, the grace will flow like a tsunami. That's why the order is important, so that the sacramental grace can flow even more so.
And that is real, because there's a rhythm and there's a pulse, right? And when everybody's on the same team with the rhythm and the pulse, then all the expectations are figured out. We know where we're going. We know what this day is going to look like from the beginning to end. And there is great grace.
Yeah.
And so then if an interruption happens, as it will, there's grace for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's not like it's not going to explode in our face, like, oh my gosh, how can we do this?
Well, God can sidestep a disordered situation. He can go beyond the natural order. You know what we call that usually? Miracles. But don't expect God to just work a miracle. Work with them. You know, my dad always said, son, God will feed the birds of the air, but he don't put the food in the nest. So meaning you have to go out and do the natural things, do the work, the Benedictine order, pray and work. So in our wonderful Catholic faith, it's not all just grace. No, it's natural order as well. We have the natural virtues and the supernatural virtues. So this is the natural order, well-ordered family. And then go to tanbooks.com and buy all the books that will teach you about the devotional life and the liturgical life and the lives of the saints, and the grace can start flowing. You have to do both at the same time.
Just thinking about your books, though, another affirmation of TAN. So many new books coming out through TAN. Here at EWTN, we hear TAN and we think kosher, Orthodox.
Yeah.
But then you're doing a lot of stuff with reprinting books, older books?
Yeah.
You're doing that as well? Because not many people doing that.
Well, I mean, look, the most incredible things ever said were said a long time ago, and there's nothing new under the sun. And so, yeah, in fact, one of the most important things Tan's doing, and we're not really here to plug Tan, but let me just say this, one of the most important things we're doing is finding works never before translated into English. Like Thomas A. Kempis, the guy who wrote Imitation of Christ, he wrote a bunch of stuff that's never been in English, and we're translating that. So there's a lot of interesting things that Tan continues to do.
We got about 3 minutes before break, and I keep looking at your book, and we read through your book, and I keep seeing the wheel. You know, so you got these components: vision, unity, systems, discernment, relationships, metrics.
Yeah.
And we would take a week to go through each one of those. But you break them down in the book. Share with us a little bit about why the wheel's important, why you've chosen to name these components what they're named.
Yeah, I can hit it quick, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing is vision. You have to have a vision, and in families, we need a visionary. Right? Mother Angelica was the visionary here.
Right.
Like, none of this would have happened without that vision. However, so what's the vision for your family? Write that out. I have tools. This is a tool-based system. I'll help you write that out. But without unity, okay, without alignment, the vision goes nowhere, right? So when you read Mother Angelica's book, the team around it made the vision possible. So that's unity. You need family meetings, and we need to get the team working together. Systems and metrics, whenever you get really serious about something, you start measuring. You want to lose weight, you track your calories, you track your steps. If you want to be world-class anything, you measure with precision. Like an Olympian athlete, they're measuring it by the inch, square, by the centimeter. What's important in your family life? So we measure how often we pray the rosary, how often we go to confession, debt payoff, etc. I lost 45 pounds. We measure my body fat percentage. We really do, because that's important, because I have type 2 diabetes, blah, blah, blah. So whatever's important to you, you measure. Systems is like how you get stuff done, right? Which we can talk about later. Relationships is, family would be easy if it wasn't for all the people involved. And so what are the relationships? I focus a lot on the Greek temperaments, and I use assessment tests that we use in the business world to assess the family members and to say what are their strengths and weaknesses. I think it's really important. So that's relationships. I got a lot of tools about conflict resolution, because guess what? It happens. It happens, right? And then discernment. How do you make decisions from a spiritual standpoint? Decision making, choosing between A, B, and C, like minivan, 12-passenger van, city bus for the 16 kids, whatever, right? Or problem solving, root cause analysis. Why do I keep having this conflict with this teenager? Why does every time my wife and I talk about this, we have conflict? Root cause analysis. Business tools that great business executives use, I apply them to family life. So that's the flyby of the 6-part system.
Well, thank you. We're going to hold you over for the final segment. Thanks for all you've been sharing thus far. It's The Well-Ordered Family by Conor Gallagher, EWTNRC.com. Go there, and we're going to continue with this precious and important conversation. We'll be right back. Plenty more to come. Don't go away. Wrapping up today's conversation with Conor Gallagher, speaking about the well-ordered family, the family management system. And it's reachable. You can implement it with 16 children, a few children. So how do you bring the family along? You mentioned family gatherings. When do those take place? How many? Can you really bring the children along in this? What are you finding?
Yeah, so in business, we talk about a meeting cadence. A cadence is important. Anything in life. It's like you got to march and sequence together. And so, whatever it is, I mean, the EWT and programming has to go, there's a certain cadence. You don't want randomness. Randomness is your enemy, right? So with family, I think that family meetings are important. And I think a couple rules, though, I mean, just to kind of get them right out of the way here, is family meetings are not the time to discipline your kids. Now, I want you to imagine like a business meeting, like if you called all of your executives together, you got your team together, and you decide to use that time to reprimand somebody. No.
Not good.
No. Do it another time.
Yeah.
In fact, if there's a problem in the meeting, you can say, that's a really important issue, and I'm not pleased with how that's going, but we got to talk about that later. Okay, so can you meet tomorrow at 9 a.m.? Great, we'll talk about it then. Moving on.
Yeah.
And I think you do the same thing with your kids. Otherwise, if you discipline your kids, if they just think it's the time for mom and dad to complain about what the kids are doing, they're going to hate family meetings. So don't do that. Don't set yourself up for failure. You need an agenda. You need an agenda for a meeting, because why? Otherwise, mom and dad just become tyrants. So I think it needs to follow an agenda, follow the timestamps, and I've created those. And again, I'm not trying to make it robotic.
Right.
What I'm trying to do is make it like transcend mom and dad's mood. That's the thing. And teenagers are smart. They understand mom and dad's mood is going to be dictating everything that happens. No. Let's transcend that. So I create family agenda. So one, I would say the most important of the 4 agendas I've created is the weekly family huddle. Okay, now, you might think of a family meeting where you're sitting down and having this big heart-to-heart and, you know, all this stuff. And that you can do that, but what I suggest with the weekly family huddle, it's a logistics meeting. This is the only time in the week, and it's usually Sunday night for us around 8 o'clock, where I say, okay, kids, everyone get your cell phones out. Like, it's the only time you're going to hear me say, where's your cell phone? Get your cell phone, right? Because usually you're like, get it out of here. So, because it's a logistics meeting. So I start with a little prayer, and then you go through and say, okay, tell me one good thing that's happened this week, okay? What's one thing that you're hopeful for about the next week that's about to happen? And that's just real quick, like rapid fire to kind of get the mind right. And then it's a good way to do business meetings too, by the way. You know, just be positive, right? Don't dwell on the negatives, right? But then you say, okay, what do you have coming up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Oh, well, it's this kid's birthday. Oh, well, actually the day we're filming this is my son's 16th birthday. So happy birthday to Paul. Love you, buddy. But oh, you got this kid's soccer game. Oh, you got this kid's baseball practice. Oh, dad has this meeting, whatever it is. And so it gets all of those surprises. Stress comes from like when you're like hit last minute and you're surprised about it, right? And mom and dad are like, well, you didn't tell me that. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. I texted it to you a month ago. You should have reminded. And conflict ensues. So every Sunday, have a huddle. And it's like 5 minutes. Yeah. It's like 5 minutes. It's logistical. And you're just making sure that this upcoming week, there's not going to be any big surprises. Right. That's the idea of it. Yeah. And it sounds like kind of trivial, but it's helpful. It's really helpful, okay? So that's the weekly family huddle. And then I think the quarterly and annual meetings, which I provide agendas for that, that's where you're talking about what's our vision statement. You review it. What are the family core virtues? Yeah. Like businesses talk about core values. What are the core virtues? How are we doing? Right. What are our goals for the next 90 days? Do we have a special intention for the next 90 days? You learn somebody has cancer. You learn somebody's kid is sick. Make that the intention for the next 90 days. So these agendas provide different questions that you can ask and answer for your own family.
Really, really helpful. Thank God we have you tomorrow. You can unpack these principles in this book more fully. Thank you for blessing so much the domestic church.
Excellent.
The Well-Ordered Family, EWTNRC.com, the Family Management System. God bless you. God bless all of your loved ones. You're an important part of this EWTN family. You're never alone. You're always at home with Jim and Joy. Bye now.